This is an entirely political decision. Trials of an innocent man. I think he will die. The CIA had planned to kidnap Julian Assange in London and, if necessary, engage in a shootout in London and kill him. Now, when I say unique case, this is the United States attempting to prosecute an Australian journalist for his work in Britain. You imagine the Chinese government attempting to prosecute an Australian journalist for his work in Britain.
UN Special Rapporteur on Torture visited Julian Assange in 2019, and he said that Assange showed all the symptoms typical of prolonged exposure to psychological torture, and that Assange has been without freedom for 10 years, so the case shouldn't go on. But strangely, his view, which would have been picked up had it been about anybody that the Chinese government is after or the Russian government is after, his view was largely ignored by the press, as was the story with the key witness who confessed that he lied about the evidence. What explains that?
So much is being ignored in this case. Yes, in fact, the UN rapporteur on torture, Niels Melzer, has just published a book in which he's documented all of this. And it makes truly shocking reading. It shows right from the beginning how Julian Assange was framed in Sweden, how the various governments have colluded, including the government of Australia, Julian's homeland, have colluded in ensuring Julian stays in prison. It's, in one sense, it's a huge compliment on the work of WikiLeaks and on the work of Julian Assange and on the work of very good journalism. But in another sense, it's a demonstration of the ruthless power to crush anything that stands against the US, particularly at this precarious time in its modern history. The US is locked in, from its point of view, a conflict to renew, if you like, its dominance of the world, a dominance that it has enjoyed up to recent years. It no longer has that dominance. It's part of that whole landscape of a superpower losing or having to give up or to share some of its powers in a multipolar world. There's so much about this that when you go to the United States and listen to people and their almost officials and their almost sense of fear that the United States is no longer, will no longer be number one, then you begin to understand the degree of ruthlessness that is used against somebody who doesn't fight with weapons, but fights with journalism.